So one of the things I'm super liking about MCP servers is the fact that you can include them into any flow really. It's not like that you have this bunch of set use cases that they only apply to. I kind of think of it like emergent use cases. So let's take an example. I'm just gonna generate some tests, and it occurred to me that the runtime data might be relevant towards the test that I'm running. So let's try this. Please generate integration tests for this method and use runtime data from the prod and test environments, as well as, let's go, actual traces and exceptions that you might want to cover in tests. Let's see what that will do. So all we've done is configure the Digma MCP server that knows basically to access all of the functionality around observability data. And we're using the Gemini model just because it has a little bit of a larger context window, just in terms if we need to kind of pull data back and forth around tracing or whatnot. So first, yeah, of course, it gets the IDs of the environments that we're tracking, and then it starts to get the usages for this method. And this is neat because not all of these usages are even in my workspace, so static analysis won't be enough to understand how it's being used. It's also getting trace, so it's looking at an actual usage samples for this function in order to understand how to create a good example test from it. So taking all of these into account, it's also grabbing some errors, which is great. So it's checking if it has any exceptions recorded related to it. And voila, we're starting to get some data. Yeah, and it's also doing that for the prod environment. All of that information will be factored into generating the results. Okay, so now as the agent continues, it starts generating the test. This time taking what is actually happening with this method into account. And let's see what it decided to do. So it analyzed the usage patterns, traces, and error data. The method is primarily used by, and this is the controller it's primarily used by, so it's following that flow. And it's also taking the sizes that it sees in the runtime data in order to make some assumptions about how to generate that test. We can take that even a step further. So one of the things I like to do whenever I found a flow that really works for me is add a rule, kind of cementing that into the AI behavior. So here I'm using cursor, and I took the liberty to write this testing rule. So very simple rule. Whenever you're generating integration tests for a particular piece of code, always check the usages in test and prod environments first, as well as collect sample traces and collect any runtime exceptions. So very easy rules. And now whenever I ask the AI to generate any test for me, it will always take the runtime data into account, which is amazing because the MCP comes into play and I didn't even need to know that it existed.